So now we're going to show how to install this. Of course, I had this in here a little bit already. But that was just to show, I took it apart, pins out. So we're going to screw this in. Small pair of vice grips, clip onto the spool so it won't spin. You need a 7/16 and a half-inch opening wrench. An old pair of pliers. A drift pin. Drift pin is, you can wiggle that in there and line up everything. So this screws in. Pretty easy. If it's not going in easy, got dirty threads in that spool, you might want to run, thread chaser is the best thing, but if you don't have a thread chaser, but maybe have a tap, that'll work. But it's a 5/16 fine thread, which is 24. This bottoms out. I back it up a little. Grab it with the pair of pliers to hold that. Give this a few turns. This needs to get locked in place. Alright. And you can line this up. See how it's fighting just a little. Put that drift pin in there. Lines it right up then. Might have to take the pliers off then to get the other side. Put the cotter pin in. Now you want this cotter pin to be bent to where it's not going to interfere with anything, so that means you would bend it all the way back. Alright, so that part is done. Now this part wants to be loosened up, because what you're going to do now is you'll start the tractor up with the tractor on jack stands. So you want lots of room. I guess I should have said this in the beginning, but I like to jack it up good and high, put the axles, both axles, put a jack stand underneath, take the left rear tire off when you start the installation, actually. Did this out of order, sorry. And that just makes it easier for you to get under the tractor and the tire's not, in your way. And especially, I can give you from experience, if there's dirt on the tire and you're trying to do this job, you'll end up with dirt all over your head because your hairbrush is right next to the tire. So with that one tire off only, you can start the tractor, and this is to find the neutral. Finding neutral with the linkage all hooked up, and that's assuming that you've got this end hooked up already and tightened. Which is probably the more challenging part of it, but take the engine out. If you need any other excuse to do other stuff, take the engine out, get the hydraulic tank out of the way, and this end goes pretty easy. Otherwise, it's a fight, and you just have to try everything in your arsenal to get to it. I usually remove the pressure line, like I've said before, to get it out of the way when I don't take the engine out. And by taking the engine out, I mean sliding it forward, and that means you remove the bolts to the pump adapters, and that counts for 4 digits as well. You never remove the set screws and take the shaft of the pump out. You take the adapter out. I know that sometimes those adapter bolts are not easy to line up, but that is the proper way to do it. When you don't get that set screw tight and a perfect thread lock on there, those set screws back off, and then you wreck your pump adapter. See, I've got these paperweights here. This is a pump adapter for a 4-digit tractor. Paperweight, because this hole got wiggled out because that set screw got loose. Paperweight. This paperweight cost $100 new. 80 to 100, I can't remember. So anyway, now we're going to be adjusting the tractor. You start the tractor, you run it up to a fast idle. Most likely you're going to see that the axle without the tire is turning. And so it's actually pretty easy. This is already set. This end here is already attached. So all you do is spin this, which is threaded yoke, is either, like right now I'm making the linkage longer, or if you need to go the other way, it's all trial and error. I mean, there's really no reason for me to tell you which does which, but you know, your travel control lever should be in neutral, and then you adjust it until it stops, and then what you're going to do is move your lever forward and reverse, and then find your center. 4-digit tractors seem to have a lot larger neutral area in the spool itself than the 3-digit tractors. So if you want to, you could cheat to where you get forward motion a little bit quicker than you get reverse motion. That's totally up to you. I believe you get full motion. You know, like this spool actually has a stop. You know, and you see this spool. Here's my finger. That is full reverse, I believe, in this position. That's full forward. So think about that. That's full forward. This exposed portion here is full forward to full reverse in the spool. And that's why if you have even that much slop, that's a big deal. If you have this much slop, you know, that's a lot. That's why you can't go full forward. That's taking a lot of movement out of your spool. So this is full forward, full reverse, full forward, full reverse. And that's the width of my finger. That's why slop matters so much. So you get this to where you are happy with the medium. Your medium neutral. Hold your yoke in place. And lock her in now. 7/16 wrench. Tighten that up. Crawl out from under the tractor. Do a happy dance. Put your tire back on. Put it back down on the ground and go drive around, because you're going to be a happy tractor owner. Enjoy.